Console players, they are finally here. Yes, the circular pivots are now in Farming Simulator 22, but there's some things you need to know about them before you use them. And the first thing is that this does not add irrigation into the game. These are going to be used for fertilization or herbicide to take care of your weeds. So once you find the mod on Mod Hub, you're going to come into your mods and DLC section to be able to find it. Or if you want to go the hard way, you can go here into your tools and then into sprayers, go all the way across to the right, and it's going to be under circular pivot. Now, base price is $45,800. And there are a few things here that you need to make sure that you are selecting as a console player. The first one, it's not really necessary for console. Like, everybody needs to know this, I feel like. It's the field contour guidelines. All right, you want to make sure that this is on yes. And I'm going to show you in a minute how to use these. It's important that you have this if you don't have circular fields. So the next, your coupler configuration doesn't really matter, whichever one you want. Most vehicles can haul both kinds. I'm going to leave this on low hitch right now. Now, the number of sections. This one is interesting, all right, because the width over there says 68 meters, but I'm going to show you in a minute also how that's not exactly true. It's close, but it's not exact. Here on the configuration rotation, what you want to do is you want to make sure you're staying on the 3-minute one if you're on console. All right, so you've got the full rotation here, or you can come across and get a 3/4 rotation, or you can get a half rotation, or you can get a quarter rotation. So this is going to be like just like pieces in a pie, right? If you're on quarter, you're only going to get 1 out of the 4 pieces. If you're on half, it's going to be 2, half of it. 3/4 is going to be, you're going to get, from 12 o'clock on a clock all the way around 9 o'clock. And then full rotation is 3 minutes. Now, it's important that you want to do the 3-minute one here, because if you are on console and you go away, right, it can shut off. So stick with 3 minutes. It's going to be super fast. Trust me, you're going to want to leave it there. Now, the color for the pivot, that's going to be the actual pipes and everything like that. And then the trailer, you can customize that color however you like. And then the rim color, obviously, you can do whatever you like here. The rim does change the rim color on the pivot itself, not just the trailer that you are driving. So let's go ahead and get this thing right here. I'm going to go ahead and lease it. So now you've got your vehicle hooked up to it, you need to go ahead and get out into the field. So one thing that I noticed the very first time that I hooked up to this thing, it seemed like it didn't want to move, all right? So I had to unhook it and then rehook it back up, and it was completely fine. So I'm going to show you right here about how big. And the question is, how do I know exactly where I need to put this? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and bring up my help menu right here. If I hold my L1 bumper, you see my right joystick, I've got some commands with. If I go left and right, nothing's really happening except that thing right there showing up. Well, that's actually up and down on my command or on my joystick. All right. So the white outline, I don't know if you could see it very well in the background. It's actually showing up back there as well. But if I come around over to here, you can see it very, very, very well. And let me go and back up. Now, this right here is the diameter that you're going to have on this thing. Yes, the diameter, because it's going to go in a full circle. So the distance that you saw in the store, that's actually the radius. That's only going to be one direction from the center point. And in this instance here, it's 68 meters. So that's actually going to be 136 meters that you are going to be able to cover with this one right here. So what you could do is, just start backing up till you get kind of over to the edge of the field. And then all you got to do is just walk over here and make sure that's exactly where you want it to be if you're on, close to the edge. So I'm going to come out here. You can see there's my edge right there. That's how much farther that I need to go. So it may take you a little bit to get this thing put in place, but that is how you're going to be able to do it. There were some videos early on taking a look at this, and it was a very green wall. I think Giants asked to have that switched over to this more clear color right here. So we're going to back up just a little bit more. Let's go right there. Let's check this again. And yeah, that's going to work. All right there is going to work for me. Let's hop back into our vehicle here, and you can see that over on the other side, I'm not quite covering all the way to the other edge of the field. And what you could do here, you could put this thing down, do your work, and then move it, and then, do it again. But the problem is you're going to be using a lot more product if you're doing it that way. Now, I don't have precision farming on right now. I am going to be taking a look at this in the secondary video here, looking at the precision farming aspect of this. Now, the other thing you have to worry about is the sides, right? So you may have to adjust your positioning here a couple different times. But once you get that put in place, go ahead and bring this back down. Now, the way you bring it up is you go down on your joystick, and the way you take it down is go up. So it's inverted. All right. So next, what I want to do is go ahead and detach from my equipment here. I'm going to go ahead and move my truck just a little bit out of the way, right there. I think that's going to be good enough. So now I need to go ahead and hop into this piece of equipment right here. It's like a vehicle, so I'm just going to hit square. It's going to take me in. Now this is the vehicle. So what I want to do now is go ahead and open the cover. I'm going to hit up on the D-pad, and you can see that it's going to start building it, and it's going to put it in the direction that the rear of the trailer. Now, it's only one section right now, okay? Now, just imagine if this thing was 4 sections long, how far out there that would be. And don't worry, I'm going to show you exactly how big that's going to be here in just a few moments. And before we get started here, I want to go ahead and show you that this field has 0 fertilizer in it right now. You can see that I do have my fertilizer turned on. So I'm going to turn this on and off. You can see all the other fields are showing up. This one has absolutely nothing. We're back in the pivot right now. What I want to do first is go ahead and turn on the engine. So R1 and square is going to go ahead and turn it on. You can see my RPMs over in the bottom right actually jumped up a little bit to about 8,500. Now what I need to do is go ahead and turn on the sprayer. That's going to be your L1 and square, and you can see that your product is starting to come out. Now you can also see that down there in the bottom right hand corner, I'm already using product. Yeah, like 2 liters, 3 liters, right? 4 liters here really soon. So what I want to do now is go ahead and just start my rotation. Now this is going to take 3 minutes to get all the way around. Now, when I bring up my map, you can see that we are actually putting fertilizer down. If I toggle back and forth, you can see that it's getting bigger as that thing goes around. It is putting down 1 stage of fertilizer for us. And I've heard that you don't necessarily want to leave any equipment in the path of this thing. Let's see what's going to happen here. We are getting ready to pass over top of our TLX 1982 special by David. Is it going to pass over it? No problems. Or is it going to have a collision? Well, that didn't seem to have a problem. Maybe if it's in the way of the wheels. Yeah, don't put it in the way of the wheels. Let's take a look at our pattern here and see if there was anything that happened. I'm going to go ahead and go over here and get rid of vehicles. And then we are going to come back over here and take a look at our fertilizer. And yeah, it went directly over top of it. It was completely fine. We are just about done here with the full rotation. Let's go ahead and jump out here. And you can see that as soon as it gets to the end here, it's going to slow down just a little bit. And then it's going to stop. But the spraying is still going to keep going. So you need to make sure you turn that off. L1 and square turns off your sprayer. And now you're good to go. Right now, the next time that you want to do this, you actually are going to rotate it to the left. So if I wanted to put down another pass on another growth cycle, I hold my L1, hit X again, and it's going to go the opposite direction. So another thing that you need to keep in mind, if you are wanting to move this, you have to make sure that you turn off the engine. And then whenever you close the cover, it actually needs to be back in the original position. So I moved it all the way around to the right. I actually just had to move it all the way back around to the left before I could actually close the cover on it. Keep that in mind. So it's pretty simple. All you got to do, hook up to it if you want to move it, and then just take it to your new location. Now, the interesting thing is you're not necessarily going to be able to see exactly where your fertilizer is at, on your map down here, because, the only way to see it is to truly come in here. And one other thing that you notice is you've got this circle right in the middle. That's where your pivot was at. But it doesn't show up in your field, right? So you don't have that fertilizer right there. If you're worried about maximum yield and fertilization, then you're probably going to want to make sure you hit that with some type of spot spraying. But once you're over here in your new location, just kind of check and see. You can see how big your circle is there. The center of your triangle up there with your vehicle, this right here, that is, your vehicle, your trailer's behind it. So, probably go a little bit farther over here, right? And then drop it down and just reset your, do the cover again, reset this thing, and then go on and do your next pass. Now, for those of you that want to go all in on this mod and get the 4-section unit, there's something that you need to know. And that's how massive this thing actually is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and pull up right here. All right, so this is the center of my pivot. I want you to watch and see over there in front of me where exactly this the outline of this is going to be. Yeah, all the way over there. You are literally almost all the way to the road over there on that side, and that's only half. I still got the other rotation over here. This is a absolutely monster of a spread on this thing. All right, it's literally like 4.5 times, and I think you're going to be able to cover the entire map. Right, you could put 16 of these down on a 2x map right now, and they wouldn't touch, but they would be almost touching. Right, so this thing is massive. I honestly don't think there's any field here in Elm Creek that you're going to be able to use this on. You might be able to put it right here in the middle and not contact anything, but I'm pretty sure you're going to be running into the road. There's some poles over here. I mean, but seriously, guys, this thing is not designed for Elm Creek. You're going to want to use it maybe on like a Welker or like a Fox Farms, or maybe even like a No Man's Land or something like that, and really put make your fields very, very specific. You're going to get some trees out of the way, right? But this thing is a monster. Be careful. Don't get it out in your field, set it up, and then be questioning why in the world you're hitting stuff. It's massive, guys. Well, everybody, I think that's just about everything you need to know here about this piece of equipment. It's going to be a lot of fun to use this, and I can't wait to see what everybody else comes up with. I know that I'm going to be using this very soon on an upcoming gameplay. If you want to stay up to date when that gameplay is going to be coming out, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell too. And while you're waiting on that video, go and check out one of these two right here. Have a great day, night, evening, everybody. Until next time, this is Driver 53 signing off.